Hey guys, Dark Alice Pay here back, new video. So today I just want to talk about how, what doesn't make sense to me in terms of like how human beings navigate their own lives and navigate in general in this world is that some people have this notion that there's going to be sustainability in the next 30 years or whatever number you want to give, 10 years, 15 years, whatever. And you just look at the current situation of this world, the economy, just the planet, the health of it. Um, it just looks all unsustainable. It just all looks bleak, and the inevitable crash. Everything's gonna go downhill in terms of job market. Life prospects for many, if not all, human beings, and just kind of silly when you just go to the grocery store and you hear people saying, "Oh, I just need to do this X, Y, and Z for 30 years, and then I'll retire, and then I'll have this paid off, and then I'll do this and I'll do that." And I'm just like, man, like where are you getting, like, where are you people getting this reassurance that in the future, like, things won't go wrong, like things won't go fucking south really, really quick, right? Like it's so fucking frustrating and kind of annoying when people have these childish glib notions that, oh, I'm gonna uh you know life is gonna be so stable for me that I could plan it out in the next 30 years. How fucking insane is that? The idea that you could plan out your life in 30 years, and you know you're so assured of yourself, you're so assured that everything's gonna work out, everything's gonna just be rainbows and sunshine, and you're gonna get everything done that you've planned, and all that stuff. And man, that's not how this reality works at all. um you know Things happen, we react to those certain things, and you can either do it through intelligence or through stupidity, right? And um you know especially nowadays with the way things are, I just don't know how people can just have so much trust in the system. They trust it so much, and they think that it's gonna, care about them for the next 30 years. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. A lot of people are struggling right now. I mean, uh, you know, how many times do people have to say that? Oh, future looks bleak. The collapse is gonna happen. And it's only a matter of time, and yet people are just so certain that there's going to be a future, and they're so certain that things are going to work out. And where are they getting this idea that things will work out in the end? I mean, I'm looking at realistically, and I'm looking at where we're all heading, and it just doesn't make any sense to me that you could have this notion that, oh, things are going to work out in the end, or things are going to continue to be stable for the next, you know 20, 30 years, and I'm going to accomplish these certain things, and things will work out for me. I just don't know how people had that notion in their head. I'll never understand it. Even this idea of choosing careers and sticking with it, and managing to actually execute it. A lot of it is just luck. A lot of it is just circumstance. A lot of it really is have to do with just what certain life experiences you've had that led you to that path. And it's obvious. I mean, if I was, as a young boy, you know really interested in mechanics and did all that stuff, and interested in how cars worked or motorcycles or whatever, I would probably eventually be a mechanic, right? Um, so it's like what you were exposed early on can definitely determine where your life is gonna head. It's just, and it's not meant really what we have in terms of our ability to control our lives in the future. It's really just circumstances, and we're pretty much playing scripts. We're playing out movies, playing out roles that is inevitably going to lead to a conclusion, right? Um, and it just kind of crazy to me that, like, some people really do live this life as though, like, things will truly work out for them. And they're so confident. And to me, I'm just always scared about the future because I don't know where we're all heading. I don't know where I'm heading. I don't know what's gonna look like in the next 10 years or 15 years. And yet, people are so confident, so assured of themselves that um, they just have so much control of this life. They're just 100% control, and they're gonna have everything done and planned out over a time period, over a span of years, and nothing bad is gonna happen, right? Um, I don't know. I just can't. I don't know how people do that. I don't know how people can rationalize or cope with that. Um, I just take it day by day. I just take those challenges face on, or whenever it comes, and I try to deal with it the best of my abilities. But that's just me speaking. But I don't know. Other people, it just seems like they could just, you know, I don't know. I don't know where they get this whole idea that, oh, I'm gonna be able to do X, Y, and Z, because because what they think they're special. They think they're gonna everything's gonna work out for them. The chances of people actually succeeding or having things go in their way, in their favor, and their what you know what they want out of their life is very, very slim. Literally, it's you have to be in the right circumstances. You have to know the right people, and you're led to that certain path um, that you decide. And I don't see how some of these individuals can just be so confident in just the future. Just so confident that things will be sustainable. The government is not going to be in financial ruin. They think that, I'm not going to deal with any health problems. I'm not going to have to face any severity that life has to offer. Um, something breaking down, like a car breaking down, or all these things that you have to worry about. And a lot of people seem to just, I don't know, just have this like main character syndrome, or like this idea that like they're special, things are going to work out for them because they are the main character and no one else, right? It doesn't make any fucking sense how people can live their life like that. A majority of people do live their life like that, where they just you know uh mainly focus on themselves, and they don't give a shit about the bigger picture. They don't care about the facts. They don't care about what's going on. They're just so narrow minded, just or focused on that one thing. And for years, not just like a day or two, but for years. And I again, I don't have that mental capacity to be able to just pretend everything away. It seems like you really have to just pretend things away in order to get what you want. Um, I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. I don't even know what the hell is going to happen tomorrow, and yet these people are so assured of themselves that things are going to work out for them in 30 years. It's fucking crazy, Even this idea of marriage and people getting married and thinking that things are going to work out and things are going to be like a Disney movie or something. Um, so yeah, for some people it does work out, but not a lot of people. That's not true for a lot of people. Um, just like it is crazy. It really is we're forced into this existence. We are taking it day by day, and some individuals truly think they have the power to have control, and they're going to uh, have the life that they want in 30 years. I mean, that's crazy to me, man. In 30 years, you could get into a really bad car accident and your life can change forever. How can you have these glib notions that things are will indefinitely work out for you? I mean, you could only hope the best for people, of course, but to be glib and childish and kind of like almost entitled, or almost like you know again, like the main character syndrome. You're just like, things are just gonna be in your favor because you are the star basically, and no one else. I just don't get that mentality at all. That's something I'll always question. It just doesn't click with me, that this idea that I can plan out my future, like I can be assured, and to me it seems like most people are just throwing paint on the wall and hoping it sticks, right? That's how I see it personally. A lot of people just seem to be doing that most of their lives, and for those that that things do work out for them, because they threw paint on the wall, it's just because of dumb luck, and they get to start bragging about oh, I've done this, I've done that, right? And you know after those 30 years, but again, a lot of it is just luck, a lot of it is just circumstance, and just multiple lines of events or experiences that you've experienced to get to that point. It's not just something that happens tomorrow, or a week or a month or so on. It literally takes sometimes decades to pivot your whole entire life to a different direction. I mean, so yeah, it really will never click with me in terms of these human beings, these NPCs, these people that think that, um, you know, just these childish notions that things are guaranteed to work out for them specifically, and then for other people, when things don't work out for them, then that's when people like to start putting the blame on those individuals, even though they're also in a circumstance that they have very little control over, just like the people that do get what they want out of life. You know, just funny to me. It's so funny that we're just gonna pretend that as a fact. The fact that uh, people have different circumstances. People have lived through different life experiences that lead to them to to go through certain paths and certain roads, so to speak. So, and it just doesn't make sense, especially in context of the bigger picture, and society getting worse. It's getting worse. It's collapsing slowly but surely, and uh, you know, it's not hard to see that it really isn't. And again, I don't get it. I don't get a lot of human beings, honestly. I really don't. I don't get how come from nothing to you come to existence, and you just have this notion in your head that life gives you full control when it doesn't. It doesn't give you full control. That's the fucking joke. A lot of people like to carry themselves acting like they have 100% autonomy, and everything is just in their hands, when no, that's not true. It's all about circumstance and situations, really. um but yeah, I think that's all I got for today's video. Talk to you guys later.